The Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast.
Coming to you from SideQuest Studios, this is The Simpsons Index, episode 244. Hello out there, I'm Elliot Jay O'Neill, your host. And here with me as always, except when he's not, is BT Calloway.
Hoi.
And also joining us, returning champion Andrew Hastings.
Guys, I'm so happy to be here in person, the most in-person person you can have.
Could not be more in person.
I can smell you all. I can see you all. If I so choose to, I could touch you all.
All five senses engaged.
Listeners, you should be here.
It's weird, man. This is like the first time in a very long time we haven't done an over Zoom recording. So, yeah, welcome for this momentous occasion.
Honestly, listener, I wish you could be right here in this room with us in person. You'd love it. You'd be having the time of your fucking lives. It's so good to be in person. Why am I talking like it's like October 2020? Why am I...
Hey, it's still Among Us, and, you know, it's still nice to catch up in person.
It's Among Us. That's a game we all played in lockdown.
Oh.
So we did it again, guys.
But yeah, this is Simpsons Index. We review Simpsons, like this one. This was Season 32, Episode 18, Burger Kings. First released in April of 2021, it was directed by Lance Kramer, written by Rob Lazebnik. In this episode, Mr. Burns starts a plant burger fast food chain, but it turns out he's using endangered plants to make the burgers. Hey guys, what did we think?
Damn. That's crazy that you'd say that. I think I have a lot of thoughts on it. I'm going to start with bad. I'm going to say my first thought was that it was not very good. I didn't laugh very much at all.
Oh man, wasn't that just 22 silent minutes from
I think
us?
I got a couple nose whistle laughs from me.
A few of these.
But that was, but considering it's my favorite show, it's not what you'd want.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot. Normally up the top of the show with returning guests, we ask.
Oh yeah, sure.
Have you dipped back into the series at all since the last time you were on the Index? Have you?
Not the new episodes.
No.
Oh no, please! I've come down off drugs since then. I've had to chuck on some old episodes.
Didn't tempt you to start watching again?
It didn't. It didn't. I've probably since I was last on a couple of years ago. I probably not in order in any deliberate way. I've probably rewatched all of 4 to 8 again. I probably would have just done that on various, nights with friends, coming down off different drugs. Sometimes you just get sad. There's a lot of reasons to watch early Simpsons.
That's
right?
it. Tuesday Blues ain't got nothing that season 4 to 8 can't fix.
Absolutely. Or at least, make you forget.
Yeah, for a brief moment.
For just a minute there.
Actually, just thinking about it, I remember because right before lockdown hit, I was on a holiday in WA with my family. That's where I was editing the. Yeah. We went to WA. It was a pretty fucking exclusive area.
People say it's the California of Australia.
Oh. The West
People
Coast,
say
baby.
that constantly.
It's what the Lana Del Rey song's about. It's she's always singing about Perth.
Yeah, we've got our own Everclear Santa Monica about Fremantle. It's great.
Yeah. If I knew the name of a bridge in Perth, I could make a great joke right now. I've never been, and I don't know the name of any bridges in Perth. Actually,
when I was there, I saw an open mic night, and I think it was Anthony Lacazio. Is that his name?
Yeah.
He was on the bill that night.
Low cash, mad cunt.
And Tor Snyder, of course.
Oh, of course.
Legend.
Hey, guys, if you're listening, don't hit me up for Spot Night.
Actually, remember we bumped into Tor Snyder when we were at Broaster Chicken, and she was like looking for
bragging.
Oh, yeah.
all these exclusive places I go, like WA and Broaster.
Wait, you were in a chicken shop?
Yeah. In person.
At 1 a.m. in the morning, and yeah, she was looking for a bathroom, and like she was like going, I need a bathroom, and don't say your face. And
it was a bit like, I wasn't gonna. That was not going to be the first thing out of my book. Right. You feel like you made some assumptions there.
Well, anything goes in Broasters.
Anyway, long deviation from the fact that when I was over in WA, that's when I was editing the episode that, you, Jamie, and Rosie were on.
Oh, yeah, man. Same
Yeah, you haven't
The
been
old-
on the podcast since, pre-lockdowns.
Oh man, well no, since the band broke up on my side.
Yeah.
No, I got drunk with Rose the other day. We're all still good.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, so, haven't kept up with the series lately. So how was it dipping in here?
Yeah, right. Here's what I was as a comparison point to the last time I watched something post season, 25 or whatever. I do think it was an improvement. I have heard rumors. People have told me, not smart people, but people have tried to tell me.
The words have been said.
Yeah. I've heard at some point in my life these words in the order of, it has gotten a bit better again. I wouldn't go that far. It was marginally less. Like I can't remember what season it would have been. It would have been like late 20s seasons the last one we did.
Yeah.
When we did a late episode, it made a bit more sense. It kind of as a story. I still have a lot of problems with it structurally, but it kind of felt almost like an episode of a TV show.
Yeah, because
Not The Simpsons, but it's something.
Because that HD one we watched, that was the with all the fucking woke bots and
Bird starts a woke robot university or some shit.
Yeah.
It makes like no sense.
Yeah, that's not what happens, but it's so accurate to what it's like to watch that one.
Yeah, I felt
It's baffling.
Whenever I think back to that episode, I feel like I dreamt it.
Yeah,
It felt like trying to explain a dream to someone, and you realize and then my fingers were pianos, and you're not making sense. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
So this doesn't anything. Like,
yeah, on comparison, this one, much simpler premise. Mr. Burns gets in the plant-based burger game and still is sinister about it. It doesn't tell the story well. But
that's probably my main note is that could be a story. There was a story in there.
Yeah,
They just seem to miss it. How do we want to do this? Do we want to go?
We frame this with the questionnaire.
The questionnaire.
And we talk about it all out of order because I can't be fucked remembering what happened play by play. So
no, that's not happening.
I'll throw it to BT first. What is a moment from this episode that stood out to you for better or worse?
Well, Elliot, this episode is what I believe the youth refer to as a hot mess. Because as I wrote down as I was urinating, I wrote down the notes in my head, not with my head. Or maybe I did. You figure it out.
I wrote the notes in snow.
It's
that cold lately.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's an episode that is just both coherent but total nonsense. It's jammed packed, but nothing happens.
Yeah.
And that's really going to be the sticky point. Because, again, the plot is fine. The plot is the same as the Little Lisa slurry plant, but whatever.
It is exactly the same. as...
And Lisa even has a line at one point, I refuse to believe that no one can't change. And it's like, you've done this before.
Yeah.
With this exact
same
person.
Guy. The same guy.
The slurry. Remember the slurry.
Also, you definitely know he's the richest guy in town.
Yeah.
And you've had 300 adventures with him, including a movie.
Yeah. So that's my overarch of this whole thing. The note that I starred for the this is the thing I'm going to bring up when you ask me. Edison didn't invent the electric chair.
No.
There's this joke where he's all like, "Oh, I know how Edison must have felt when he invented the light bulb." No, the electric chair. Like, he didn't do that. Of all the inventions he stole, that was not one of them.
Who invented the electric chair? Like James Hetfield? Or is it it's just the most metal shit anyone's ever thought of?
Well, they needed something for the cover of Ride the Lightning. No, it was Alfred P. Southwick. That's the dentist/murderer you should know.
All right.
He started out as a dentist.
Yep.
What if I electrocuted them?
Can you say that name again for me, please?
I'll just have to unlock my phone, but certainly I can waffle until that happens. Alfred P. Southwick.
Yeah, that's going to be the name of my new metal band.
Yeah.
The fucking inventor of the fucking electric chair.
People who
If you
know
know,
will
you
be
know.
like, fuck yeah.
Sick, dude.
Fucking metal.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy that joke's in there.
It just doesn't make
There's
sense.
a cleaner version of that joke. You can name a different fail, like, you know what I mean? There's the right combination of words for that joke to work. That just wasn't it. Like,
Yeah.
And that's almost a real overarching argument for this whole episode, isn't it? But yeah, Andrew, what stands out to you from this episode, for better or worse? A moment or a story beat or a joke or whatever?
I'll hit you with a better to
Yeah.
start. I'll hit you with a
there
better.
we go.
This is probably my loudest nostril exhale through the episode. There's one bit where they peek inside the plant slaughterhouse, and it's kind of like a parody of an animal slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
I should mention, I've forgotten, I'm vegetarian. I do kind of care about, not not really anymore, but when I was 20, I did. And so, the Lisa's vegetarianism. A lot of vegetarians say this, and I do. I go, that episode was important to me as a kid, and it probably did influence. It definitely influenced the way I felt about some things, and definitely led to some, not like huge but long-lasting, not insignificant life changes and choices and whatever.
Yeah.
So that's just, I think that should be context. So the slaughterhouse scene I really enjoyed. I quite like Lisa as a vegetarian typically. I thought this episode didn't do a good job of it, but I do like Lisa's vegetarianism typically. So the slaughter, I was like, this is working. The bit where he's got it's the bolt gun they used to kill cows.
Yeah.
It's which I'm not sure that everyone know that.
Yeah, they chucked what was a random No Country for Old Men reference.
I don't know. And there was that a Stranger Thing reference leading up to that? That was weird.
Again, it's the problem with the modern age, we've mentioned it before, is sometimes they're just so scared that you're bored, they'll throw anything into the background. And so, you have the kids riding by on bikes. With the Demogorgon chasing them on a bike, and they play the music sting. One of the only music stings in this episode. The other thing we always complain about is the lack of interstitial music.
So silent.
Yeah.
And then they ride back, and then all the bikes are empty, and the Demogorgon's chewing on them, and it's like, were you so scared that we would be bored during a critical plot point?
I thought
then get a better script.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, cool. So this is going to be a plot where they go to the factory and they're going to find that there's aliens or monsters or whatever. And it's going to be a bit of a Stranger Things parody. And sure, whatever. I don't care. That's fine.
They're pulling the meat from an alternate dimension.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right. Shit. It's season 32. I don't give a fuck. Right?
Yeah, but it was like all of a sudden the kids are on a mystery. So, of course, they're the Stranger Things kids now.
Yeah, exactly. That was the link.
If it had been a style parody for Bart, Lisa, and Milhouse who were riding bikes to solve a mystery, that would have been okay.
That's fine.
But it's just the kids from Stranger Things are in the background. It's a very, hi kids, we've seen Netflix too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why not just do the Stranger Things parody? Whatever. That's not even what I would have done. That wouldn't be my first choice, but that's still something. But no, the bit where he's got the bolt gun that they kill cows with, and he's killing the plants with it, and he shields the baby plant's eyes. Yeah. That was funny. But also I'm watching that, I'm like, I'm not sure that kids know about slaughterhouses. That's you kind of have to know what a slaughterhouse looks like for that. It's a weird looking air gun without it. It wouldn't make sense.
So I haven't seen No Country for Old Men. Is this the Stare at the Rabbits guy that they had there, or am I thinking of a different movie?
I have not seen it either,
You're
but I
thinking of a
recognize the
different movie.
haircut.
You're thinking of do you see the rabbit's blue eyes? Do you see him before he kills them? That's not No Country. I forget what that's from though.
They have similarly weird haircuts and
yeah, this is the whole you have to call it heads or tails. This is the most important coin of your life, friendo.
I need to watch more movies.
I know. Honestly, it's a good movie. Book's good too.
Yeah, there we go.
Brag.
By the recently deceased Cormac McCarthy. So if you want to read one of his to be sad because they know he's dead, that's a good one.
Oh, there we go.
R.I.P. Dudes Rock.
You will also feel bad because it's also kind of a depressing novel.
Oh,
a lot of his famous works.
Not totally uplifting and awesome like The Simpsons.
You won't feel great.
What stood out to me? I think a moment that also did actually catch us all, but again, not much more than was Homer Simpson, that guy from the show.
Yeah.
So Mr. Burns,
Mr.
Burns is looking for a slob, and then Homer brings out a business card. Homer Simpson slob.
Yeah.
On the back, crossed out Ned Flanders Leftorium. Not bad.
That's fine. I do have one thought on that though. The Leftorium joke in isolation was fine.
Yeah.
They also used existing images in Burns' dream sequence right at the start. As someone dipping in season 32, I'm like, oh, you've got two weird, remember when we were good callbacks? That too, I don't think you get... You don't even get one per episode. You get two a season. You can't put two in one episode.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. We get Bobo in the hospital
I saw
as
Bobo
well.
too, yeah.
Right.
He also said catsup, and there's no way they didn't know.
Yeah.
They knew that. Also, it's the same fucking episode. It's
the slurry one.
The slurry episode I just remembered. Damn, that always makes me respect it. Maybe that's on purpose. It's a little wink to be yeah, we know.
Yeah, we're well aware of what we're doing.
Hey, remember that joke you loved? We're not doing it.
But they do a similarly dragged out thing where Smithers and Burns are going the give up sequence. I didn't mind that. Mr. Burns trying to pull the plug on himself and Smithers playing.
Sure. Pathetic Burns, I think we've seen as Act 1 of 8 Simpsons episodes now. Because that's why he wants to adopt a son as he nearly drowns. That's why he starts the slurry thing because he loses the power plant. He pathetic Mr. Burns we've seen.
Yeah.
It's fine. makes sense.
Why
but
he
it's-
abducts the Loch Ness Monster, because no one loves him.
It's that, and that's all fine, and that makes sense. But then you can't just do a thing where he does an environmentally friendly thing with Lee. Like, you can't have it be exactly the same. But
Yeah, let's
at least
also
get there differently.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, the first act fucked you on this one was pretty ridiculous because it literally just starts off. Mr. Burns wakes up and goes, "Everybody hates me," and it's like,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. The inciting moment, if you're like screenplay 101, the inciting moment of this script is he has a dream. Like, that's
He has the dream. He wakes up. He says, "Everyone hates me." He then has to be taught that everyone hates him when he has a heart attack and people are happy. But it just takes so long for this one to get started.
Yeah, they're really trying to hammer home to the audience that people don't like Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
In season 32 of The Simpsons,
Well,
filled with references to old Simpsons episodes. Assuming,
Like, you can do that, you just need to get there faster. Like, if it's him,
Totally.
if it's him having a heart attack and everyone's happy, that's fine. You can just have him have a heart attack while yelling at someone. You don't need to have him falling in love with eating Krusty burgers.
Yeah, that's so
And
much
having a
worse.
Titanic reference
Yeah.
with
Right.
him and the burger for like way too long.
Perfectly leads us into the next question, the wackiness. So we explore the cartoony moments. How did they use the cartoony space? There is way too many fantasy sequences in this
there's so
episode.
many.
It's crazy.
It's Homer's one later. I think Burns gets like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
We get 3 appearances of Mac Tonight.
Yeah.
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 Which, was that a thing in Australia? I'm not sure.
I only know it from parodies of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Parodies of it, I'd
Yeah,
say.
and okay, we've had many discussions on this podcast of who is this for, and some people have argued that, of course, the humor's different. It's for a different generation. Children do not know what the fuck Mac Tonight is. I had to look it up.
nor No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
not even
exactly.
like, there's a few things. Like, Titanic. Like, there's a few things. And, like, I get part of The Simpsons has always been that it's multi-generational.
Yeah.
In any given episode, there's stuff for everyone or whatever. But this didn't feel like an interweaving of... And I didn't need to have seen The Godfather to get the Godfather jokes that
Yeah.
were made.
And
all
to its
through.
credit, you didn't have to have seen
True.
No Country to get that, the bit where he's putting the plants down.
True.
It helps a lot,
Yeah.
but you don't necessarily need it.
Yeah.
Just noticed another one. Yeah, Marge's stock fantasy as well, where that's another side plot in this episode. Marge is a shareholder.
I got a lot of thoughts on the stock
Like I said,
plot.
Yeah?
Episode that's packed to the rafters, and it takes so long for anything to happen.
Yeah.
Well, my thing with Marge's stock plot really emphasized to me, like, it's the almost story thing. So like, clearly in the story, it's supposed to be like Marge is supposed to be. It's Homer's conflicted at the end.
Yeah.
That's the climax of the episode. It's Homer's conflicted. Lisa, as always, the conscience, the voice of reason, the vegetarian. You got to do the right thing. The shareholders. Fuck the shareholders. Like whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine. Marge's supposed to be representing. I get like. What is Marge is supposed to be the reason not to do what Lisa wants.
Yeah.
But is she it's not so much money. Like, surely it would be better if it was Homer, I know it's bad, but we really need this money to pay for the dog surgery. Or what, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not Marge, maybe it's someone else. Or you could show the genuine, like, for it to be an actual conflict, it can't be a silly thing that Marge did that's just Marge acting very out of character. There's got to be a reason why Homer would actually want... And there's got to be a reason why it's not just, Marge is being greedy or selfish. Like, there's got to be there's no, what's the motivation the other way?
To be fair, like, they almost had it. They've had moments before where Marge says something to the effect of, "Oh my gosh, if we get this, we'll have a buffer. We've never had one of those before."
Yeah, sure.
And there's a part where she does say something to the effect of, like, if it goes up another 10 cents, we'll be $1,000 ahead. We've never been $1,000 ahead.
Oh, yeah, they're
But it's
poor. That's fine.
It needs just a little bit of a rephrasing there. And yeah, it bugs me a lot that right at the end, Lisa walks up to Marge and goes, "Oh, Mom, I'm so conflicted." No, you weren't. At no point ever were you conflicted until you said that.
Yeah. Well, I think even if you made it so that Marge deliberately invested her money, rather than accidentally stumbled into this thing, maybe she saved up $1,000 that was gonna go on something else, and she goes, "Oh no, this seems like there's a million ways you could do it." But even if you just had it as a deliberate choice, then you could be like, I know it's bad, but look at this. Look what we've been able to do with it. Look, it would be so easy to raise the stakes with that part of the story, which would elevate the whole thing. Instead, we get, I guess, Marge is being weird, and Bart, there's 2 references to Krusty that makes you feel sorry. Like,
that's another
Bart's
element.
investment is that he feels sorry for Krusty, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and
they mentioned twice. Like,
yeah. And I'm kind of curious how this does land with the LGBTQ community, because I do kind of like this the very brief side plot we got where, in order to win back sales that he's losing, Krusty releases the BLT burger, and it flops because it's cynical, and he's like, oh, where did I go? And I kind of like that.
There's something there for sure.
Yeah, because, how many companies do just change their logo to a rainbow, and then that's it for a month.
I had thoughts on that very specific, not on the context or the social, on just like literally that joke. I had a thing with where I thought, to capitalize on Burger Queer, Krusty's doing, I noticed it because even before they got to the punchline, the way Brockman sets it up is just a bit too clunky and long.
Yeah,
they could have just said that with less words, and and I'm like, that's a cool little self-contained. They did this now, and I'm already going, what's Krusty gonna call it?
Yeah,
LGBTQ BLT is like, that's what they'd actually do.
Yeah,
give me the joke one. Give me the I could see McDonald's doing that. Like, that's fine. Like, whatever. That's kind of cute. That's a bit quirky. That's less controversial than GayTM. Like, GayTM's a better joke. Like, it's not like BW Yass is again a better, like, that's actually a better joke than LGBT.
I felt that a bit through this episode, because like Lisa rattles off a bunch of like vegetarian friendly meat substitute products, and then
phony baloney, and
and then all of the catchphrases that Burns makes Homer say as well. They all feel like the first draft from the advertisers, not from a fucking comedy show.
Which is so frustrating when the thing that's Simpsons, when it's good, is so specifically good at, like, a real thing of a real watermark of the Simpsons, I think, is the the sight gags with the signs, the ads, these very quick. They can do it quick, and they're tight, and they're funny, and they're relevant, and they're like, they can do a million quick jokes really quick, and really, like, they don't need to make everything a big set piece. You can that's like their whole influence, is that they really go bang, 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 here's 90 jokes in 10 seconds, go.
Yeah.
How are they not nailing fucking? And here, Krusty, he's doing the gay burger. That's funnier. Like, I don't like, it's something blunt and obvious and not clever is the joke, surely. Not like, it's like, it's fine. Like, it's
The other thing on the wackiness as well, there seemed to be a lot of like Mr. Burns body horror in this episode as well.
Especially at the beginning.
There was a lot of weird, like, it looked like Ren and Stimpy fucking style. Like.
Real Nickelodeon zoom in bullshit. Yeah.
Well, my thing with the Burns early on, I noticed that other than Homer giving Burns the burger right at the start, you don't see a Simpson for like 8 minutes. It's like, it's completely a Mr. Burns story. I know they do that with the first act fuck you stuff, but it was like, you can't tell a story that way. Like, that's how stories work.
Yeah. No, and there was such a story to be had because, Homer's working on the advertising thing. Marge is financially invested in the company. Lisa loves the message. Yeah. And then you can have the conflict with Bart like, I'm the one who's on the outside here. But they all of their individual stories could be serving the whole thing, but they all felt so superfluous.
They're all pointing in the same direction of this conflict of this thing we thought was good is not good. Now, some of us are still for of it. Some of us are still against it.
Yeah.
It's up to the main character of The Simpsons, Homer. It's also, it's similar to the thing. Homer does the ad, right? And keep in mind, this is important context. Homer's the fat one, right?
Yeah.
He's the one who likes burgers, right? Just so I want to know what he thinks, right? I want to know what my good friend of 32 years, Homer Simpson, thinks when I watch this episode about burgers, right? You see Homer, he's excited. Everyone likes the burger. They hug. That's all fine. The hugging all makes sense. Homer's in the ad. We don't see Homer for like 15 minutes, except like just at table scenes or whatever. Then at the end, they're like, Homer, you were in the ad. You do something.
I genuinely had to remember he was like, that's right. He's like, why is Homer the spokesman? That's right. He's in the ads. I completely forgot.
I was waiting for it because 4 minutes after he was in the ad, I was like, wait a minute, where's Homer? Wasn't he in the ad? Like,
No, it's so weird. So how about the heart of this episode?
Sorry, I did have some quick notes of whack we kind of blitzed through. Burns' breakfast is one raisin ironed out smooth.
That's fine.
That was funny.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
For some reason, the robot that prepares the hamburger that Frink makes then turns around and tries to hug Frink.
Yeah. So first of it squirting ketchup and mustard out of its nose.
Yeah.
So I wrote Snotbot, and then it starts hugging Frink, and I'm like, also Sexbot?
And my other note was a single champagne bubble lifts Mr. Burns in the air.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Again, you get one or two of those sort of Mr. Burns jokes an episode. This one was loaded with them.
Yeah.
Like, he does the Grinch smile at one point. He drools over the burger and all the liquid leaves his face. Like, there is so much of it.
Yes.
But how about the heart? How about the emotional core of this episode?
Mr. Burns had a heart attack.
Yep.
That's my only note.
I think that in some ways it almost was a back to basics Simpsons. It's Homer and Lisa, Marge, Homer. Great. That's all great. And then it didn't deliver on the heart. I actually I was looking for the heart in this. I was like, you could, it's about vegetarian. Lisa cares that they have history with Lisa and Homer and vegetarianism. They got Marge and money and Homer and money and have history with, there's the pieces are all there for actual conflict.
Yep.
All it would have taken was a bit more coherency in the way the script happened, and also just like one scene of a couple of the characters going, well, this is I actually do care, and this is why I actually care.
Yeah.
Just that's it. Like, just why do we care? Just tell us why we care. Just to maybe make the conflict a bit more direct.
Yeah,
like
I
all
think-
the pieces were there.
I think my main comment, but criticism of this entire one, and the reason that the individual pieces work but don't fit is because I don't think there's much of there's very few scenes with individual characters talking to each other.
Yeah.
Like we just said, every member of the Simpsons family has an investment in this whole idea, but they never talk.
Yeah.
Like, Marge doesn't tell the family that she's got shares and they're actually making money. Homer doesn't explain. We completely forgot that Homer was in the ad because that seems to mean nothing to him.
That's very true.
Bart's conflict with, Krusty going out of business is mentioned, but he never says it to anyone. The closest we get is he's like, okay, Burns is up to something, and that's how they find out about the plants. I don't know, if we'd had Marge and Lisa talk, and Lisa be like, I have to take Mr. Burns down, and Marge, what we get is her saying, but think of the shareholders, honey, without, look, maybe you shouldn't do that because the shares are going to help pay for your college fund.
Yeah.
Totally.
And, at least then there's a conflict when Lisa goes to make the big announcement.
One scene of them at the dinner table, they're eating the burgers.
Yeah, and discussing the problems.
Marge goes, boy, it's great we have all this money. And Homer goes, I know, I'm loving being in this ad. And Lisa goes, normally we disagree on this stuff, but we all see eye to eye. And Bart goes, I don't know, I'm a little suspicious. I don't like what they did to Krusty. Lisa, I know we disagree, but maybe no, we found this bad thing. But think of the month. It's not hard.
No, it's
not
a Simpsons staple to, like, halfway through the episode, just, like, catch everybody up on the plot. And then
dinner table, you get
And
one dinner table and one of Homer and Marge in bed, we're good.
You have all the components, they just never cross line. They just don't meet each other at any point.
The other weird thing with the way the story rolls out is, like, I don't get how this store is operating at the moment. No. Like, is it they have one location, but then they're setting up for, like, the franchise opening up at the end? It's really weird. Like,
they're both open and going to open soon.
Yeah.
I guess, when they do a grand opening, usually they have been open for a week just to make sure it all works. But that said, you don't get that sense.
No.
And especially in TV, a grand opening is the first time they've ever been open.
No. And also, this food is healthy.
Yep.
People like it.
Yep.
Burns is making money off it. There's nothing bad about the food itself other than the ingredients it's being made with. It's not an evil food. It's just how it's made. For some reason, everyone in the town seems to be addicted to it like it's tobacco. It's like it's not a zombie. It seems to be like leading to a zombie psycho too good to be true thing. No, they're just using plants they shouldn't use. Like, there's these burgers in the world of that story, these burgers were just that good.
Yeah. I think I might prefer that storyline of, like, there seems to be absolutely no problem and everyone's enjoying them, but then they find out that kind of a key ingredient is also highly addictive.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then you've got the problem
of,
everyone loves them, but no one can stop.
Yeah. But, man, wait, doesn't Burns run a nuclear power plant? That's dangerous.
Exactly.
Do something with that. Like, do something.
Nuclear powered food or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's something you could do with it. Or you could leave it as it's made with, it doesn't even, the food can be, it's made with something bad. Just the endangered animals, it's also like, okay, come on, I'm an actual vegetarian. When I'm watching that, I'm like, oh, look, if it actually did prevent that much meat, maybe that's fine. Like,
Yeah,
like,
that'd be a
I still
possible
care
net
more
positive.
about cows than I do about trees. Like, like I still kind of don't give a fuck.
You know
like,
what? Not that controversial a stance. You
Yeah,
know?
like,
Yeah, surely it's easier to clone a tree than
Yeah.
or
yeah.
cultivate new ones. I don't know.
I also, just as a side thing, just on the vegetarian thing, I do find it very frustrating. Where it's like, I know, like, obviously I'm just a man in my 30s, so I like 90s Simpsons, but like the initial vegetarian episode's so funny. I've always really liked the way that's handled. I really like that episode's really cool and like has helped a lot of people and whatever. And the story around Paul McCartney demanding that she stay vegetarian after, like, that's all cute and cool, and I quite like that. But it's like, she is the most annoying version of a vegetarian. He is like terrible vegetarian representation in all of this. It's horrific.
You demand more positive representation.
I've never, like, we're not that annoying.
No, it's one of the last punching bags that,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, then remember the episode where Homer tries eating a bunch of vegetarian stuff with Lisa, and they literally had to make it vegan food because vegetarian food isn't funny and weird anymore?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
totally. Yeah, it's just like a normal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The basic joke was, "Ooh, isn't jackfruit weird?"
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and it's like, she can have cheese, it's fine.
Yeah. But ultimately, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons? Are these the characters we know and love? Is this the show we know and love?
For a few minutes with Burns at the start.
Yeah, there are specks of it. There are elements.
I was thinking early on, thank God Mr. Burns is such a good character, because it's even him with kind of shitty writing, they'll get it over the line, and it seems to be mostly him. Maybe this will be all right. And then, no.
Remember
a bit of a lackluster
back,
Harry Shearer performance as well.
Yeah.
You remember back in the 90s when you would get like a bag of chips and in the bottom there'd be like a Simpsons Tarzo?
Of course.
It's like that. You get a little bit of Simpsons with a whole lot of filler.
Yeah.
But yes or no, would you watch this one again?
Tarzos are like Pogs, international listeners.
No, I would not.
No.
I mean, only for like a critical analysis or something like that.
Or maybe figuring out what you'd like to change about
Oh,
it.
segue, smooth as butter.
BT, what would you like to
I
change
think
about
we've
this
yelled it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know
it's
what?
one of these episodes you can't talk about without not immediately going,
Yeah,
this is how you fix it.
because
There's a
that's
really
the thing.
fundamental problem to it.
But that's the thing. All the pieces are there. They're just not put together properly. So it just needs a bunch of stuff removed and trimmed down and streamlined, and then have your characters interact, and that will generate your conflict naturally.
Yeah.
We already yelled about it, but it's all there.
Yeah. You explain you change Marge's position so it's more in direct conflict in a real way that makes sense with Lisa's thing.
Yep.
You make Bart's thing the reason, like, gets Lisa into it. You make the fundamental conflict Lisa and Marge. Homer's conflicted in the middle. I think also you need to make a distinction between Burns and Marge and why their motivations are different.
Yeah.
So
Because they're both money, but there's not the sense of
Burns is the
needing
devil.
it. Yeah.
In the world of Springfield, Burns is evil. He's pure
Yeah.
evil. He's the devil. He does things because he's but not, he doesn't, sure, you can have jokes about him being cruel and whatever for no reason. But I think for a major plot beat, he has to want something. He has to it has to be for a reason. So it's, I don't know what it would be, but Burns has to be manipulating Marge in some way, or they have to just want different or unrelated things. You make Burns as the devil. He's the incarnation of evil. Marge is reasonable and a victim to this, but and wants it to stay.
Yeah.
Done.
You know what? Also, get rid of the Birds wants to be loved bit. That is pointless, and we've done it before.
Yeah,
because
he's already got his motivation.
He's
he wants
already
to eat
evil.
burgers. Yeah.
It's
like, have it be.
He's doing it cynically.
Yeah, have it be something like, he's looking over his fortune, whatever, and then he's all like, I only made an extra 20 billion this year. What's another market suckers will go for?
I made $20 million last year in, I don't know, what was it? Fidget spinners. What's the trend this year? Spinners.
and that's it.
Fake meat. Great. Do that.
Yeah, because it'll save you a lot of extra time that this episode needs to breathe a little bit. And it's just that him wanting to be loved doesn't really make sense or work in this.
No, he had his motivation. He wants to have his burger and eat it too,
Mr. Burns. So Mr. Burns' motivation in this episode is a few things. One, he loves burgers now.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we learn about. That's the first
We
new thing
spent
about
like
it.
5 minutes on that.
But Burns loves burgers. We don't see him touch another burger for the rest of the episode. He loves burgers, and he wants to be loved. then he very quickly is like, well, this is just another cynical thing. Like, there's no... What makes the Slurry episode good is Burns thinks he's doing a good thing.
Yeah.
He thinks he's changed, but he hasn't. He can't help, like... There's none of that. Burns is like, oh, yeah, I guess I became evil in the ad break again. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not going to see me anymore, so it doesn't matter anyway. Like, it doesn't...
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've yelled all the things that I'd like to change. Like, when they introduced the Stranger Things element, I totally thought that they were going to do a whole...
Yeah.
These plants are actual living sentient beings, and they look like demogorgons. Like, I thought that's maybe where they were leading.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or they were, like, going to the upside down and getting the demogorgons or creatures from down there to process.
We've been weirder places.
Yeah.
Stranger Things thing makes sense. That's,
Which, I don't know if I'd want that, but sure.
I haven't seen Stranger Things, so I wouldn't, but I imagine fans of the show might like it.
Oh, you haven't seen it, man? Oh, if you liked E.T. and the Goonies, it's so fucking sick, dude.
I didn't. I was watching The Simpsons, Elliot.
Yeah.
That's what he does. That's all he does.
Yeah, we are here. Now it's time for everyone's final notes.
Now it's time for our final notes. Everyone's final notes.
It's the final note.
Someone watched Forbidden Door recently?
Oh, baby. I'll tell you my final notes. I'll give you my favorite and least favorite jokes from the episode. Mr. Burns describing a burger. I can't remember the exact wording, but it was something to the effect of nays that has been heavily mayoed.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. I thought that was good. I thought that was good gear. And my least favorite joke is when Mr. Burns, some reference about everyone dying one day, and Mr. Burns, keep in mind, Mr. Burns says this, Dick Cheney, what's up with that guy? It's like, what is this?
Oh, wow, I missed that.
That's like almost like, like someone's watched too much Family Guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, it insists on itself. Like, it's that like the writer speaking through, like someone out of character saying something that the writer thinks kind of being the gag. So is Mr. Burns you're working with here. Like, it's not like, it's, have him say something from an 1850s dictionary, please. Like,
yeah, exactly. Not from a Dick Cheney.
Yeah, not a weird, like, Conan O'Brien, Jay Leno, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the good old fill it up with petroleum distillate post-haste.
Yeah. Good shit.
Did you have many notes left, or?
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay, I've only got a couple. So, the burger chain as well, XLN, reminds me of this old burger shop near Pennant Hills where we spent a lot of time.
Exquisite.
Exquiz Eats. Yeah.
We're really trying to get that part.
Yeah, just garbage food as well.
Yeah, but like good garbage.
Exquisite, huh? No,
yeah,
I'm not going to.
With an X as well.
I've cleaned up my style of comedy. I won't make that. I'm not going to make a joke about how that's what I call eating pussy.
He's clean now. Everyone, you heard it.
Guys, I'm not going to make that joke about that's what I did to your mum last night.
Yeah. No, this podcast is E for everybody, you know.
I'm cleaning up my act.
At one point in bed, I think it's Homer's reading Harry Potter and the Apologizing Author.
Sure, whatever.
I missed that. That was good.
And Mr. Burns goes to visit the beloved billionaires at some point, which is now down to Buffett and Gates.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Get an extended sequence with Mark Zuckerberg as well, who former guest star of this show.
Mark Zuckerberg. Was he on the show?
Yeah. It was a brief appearance. Like, he's in a roller rink with Lisa, and he's like, I'm very glad to spend time with you. But he's like typing it out as a Facebook status.
Okay, so at time of... you guys might know this. I don't know. At time of airing... Who was the richest Simpsons guest ever? Like, at the time, they were the guests. Like, did Bill Gates have more money than Elon Musk when Elon Musk went on? Like,
no idea, man. But
maybe
it probably would be
not.
Musk, right? He went on right at the peak of his
season 26. So that's like 8 years ago now. So maybe not.
Might have been Zuckerberg then.
Yeah. That was like 21 or 22. That was like 10 years ago. Yeah.
It surely would have been during the like Zuck boom.
Yeah, definitely. That was when people didn't think he was a weird, pale weirdo.
Yeah. I like it now that he just chokes people out now. I was like, I'm going to combat the idea that I'm weird by choking people.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do to save your reputation than starting to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
I didn't know he did that. That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still confident I could take him.
He won some like local competitions. He like suburban dad. He's one of those dads who does jiu-jitsu on the weekends now.
Nice.
Is he also like fucking Kramer in that episode of Seinfeld where he's just going up against
I
kids or
suspect it's a bit of that.
Yeah, suburban dad, suburban children.
yeah.
I didn't mind the line, Mr. Burns going, "Why is everybody baring their teeth at me?" They're smart.
Yeah.
Not bad. Homer going, "Little girl in the mustache."
Yeah.
Pretty good. And and the final bit of like Smithers trying to cheer up Mr. Burns. Do you want to go to a school for blind people and tell them that aliens have landed?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Didn't mind that. BT, your final notes.
All right. The whole thing, somewhere in this hot mess, it starts off with like the moon is just singing about how Mr. Burns is evil. Mac tonight is singing about how Mr. Burns is evil. And there's a bit where Mr. Burns is about to club a seal, and then the next slide is a seal clubbing him with the club.
Oh, yeah.
That got me. I didn't mind that.
Oh, yeah. So for those that don't know as well, Mac Tonight as well, is McDonald's like late night menu promotion guy. So he was this big moon that used to play piano, and his name, Mac Tonight, is just based on the pun of an old 40s, 50s jazz song, jazz standard, Mac the Knife. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, all of his songs and here as well are like parodies of Mac the Knife.
Okay, from Three Penny Opera by Bertolt Brecht.
Wow.
Yeah, I studied it in school.
It's the moon with glasses. Picture the moon with glasses playing a piano and you don't know where that image came from. It's that.
Yeah. There's a weird line of Marge's where she goes, with all these commercials your father's doing, he's going to need bigger pants.
Yeah.
And I was like...
Because he's eating the burger in the ad?
Yeah, but the burger's meant to be healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that doesn't make sense. And I expected it to be like, he's going to need bigger pants for his wallet or something like that. But
yeah.
It's just, it's like, but they're healthy burgers and he's not even like eating a lot of them in the ad.
Yeah, sorry, that was going to be one of my things to change is because you can say it's, Homer's losing weight from these burgers now.
Yeah.
I need to get new
Yeah,
pants.
that's
It still
100%
works.
what I thought it was going to be. But then she's
Another reason why not to move out of Cypress Creek. I mean, I mean, not shut down the burger, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it was just very odd to, have that line and have it be none of the possibilities I thought it was going to be. There's a bit where, again, there's a weird fantasy sequence. They're doing burger wars, and then it's all the CGI burgers fighting each other or something. They do have like a thing that's Hamburger Hill. I'm like, that's a reference I get. Look it up. It's in the Vietnam War. Very sad. We get to the second ad break, and I literally had to write down, but what's the plot?
Yeah.
We are so far through this episode, and I don't even know what the conflict is. A bit I did like is, they've told Homer, when you talk about this burger, you're only allowed to say these catchphrases. And so when he goes to tell the truth, he's obviously still bound by contract. So Lisa's questions, he answers with the catchphrases. I did kind of like how they'd worked that out so he could get through the legal loophole. And even the guy yelling out, going, he's found legal lies to tell the truth.
Yeah.
So, that part was probably the best bit of the entire episode. And that's all my notes, Elliot.
That's great, but then they should have spent more time on the things he could have been saying, but they should just set that up earlier.
Because again, I totally forgot he was a spokesman. You need the classic, set up, reminder, payoff, and this is just set up, payoff, and there's no reminder.
All right. Now, before we rank this thing, Andrew, you've been on the podcast before. You've told us your favorite sandwich, but I thought in light of this episode, do you have any recommends of your favorite plant-based burgers?
My favorite plant-based burgers, that's a great question. I'm really glad you asked that. I love plant-based burgers. So, there's places you get a good one, right? There's places you get like a good one. You put out a bit of extra money, whatever. It's nice. I like anything with Beyond. Like Beyond is the fancy meat brand. Anything that sells Beyond Meat's going to be pretty good. But look, guys, I know that's not for you. I know you guys aren't looking for the fancy, expensive shit. I'm going to tell you where the underrated, low key. Fuck, this is actually all right. Fake meat burgers. Hungry Jack's.
Yeah.
Killing it.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, they're killing it. I don't know what the fuck it is. I get sick.
It's made out of demogorgons.
I also suspect they're just cooking it on the same grill as the.
Probably.
That's probably what's going on. And hey, I'll try not to think about it. This might be a me thing. Maybe this might be some neurodivergence coming out. Sometimes you get locked onto some foods and whatever. Yep. For some reason, for the last 12 months, I have not been able to stop eating a Porto veggie burgers. They're not even that good. But there's something about it's very comfortable and soft. Yeah. And I've also been drinking a lot of Fanta with it. So I guess I recommend that. I don't know why. It's just what I've been doing. I reckon if you just want to go get a burger or whatever, my go-to is Huckster Burger in Redfern. That's my go-to fake meat place. They have real meat there too, but the fake meat there is fucking sick. It's like more American style. It's just real good.
Oh, I haven't tried their fake meat burgers.
Oh, yeah.
A great restaurant with a very unfortunate name and aesthetic.
I only go to places named after cancelled things.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite beer, Louis VB. Tui's brand new.
Yep.
I could keep. All right, I'll stop because I could do that riff for 9
JK
hours.
sushi rolling. Yep.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Zing.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of Soul Burger in Newtown, and they're expanding as far as I know. They've got a few more restaurants and stuff.
Their fake chicken is really good. I go a fair bit of Soul Burger. Their fake chicken, if you want to do that. I also, and this is just actually, you know what? Here's the real hot take for the listener. All right, strap in.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get into fake meat? Fuck beef. Fake chicken is way better. Like, it's way easier to replicate. Like, fake chicken's just better. Like,
It's so weird how they've kind of nailed like the grain of chicken meat,
Yeah.
like, especially at Soul Burger. They actually do a fucking Peking duck burger where I'm like, how did you make fake skin? Like,
so I got the inside scoop on vegan duck, right? My wife's Chinese because they've been doing fake meat like for way longer, and like so like a lot of the best like imitation stuff is like Chinese. Vegan duck is like the best. Like the most convincing,
Yeah.
like by a fair bit, I think. Even it's less common, but you can get it from like Chinese groceries. You just chuck it. Man, I chuck it in my freezer, get a whole chunk of it. It's like the size of an actual fucking duck.
Yeah.
And just cut off like, you know, a meal's worth at a time. Put it in the air fryer. You make like duck pancakes. You put it in with some noodles. You fry it up in a stir fry, whatever. But incredibly versatile, cheap, easy, accessible, and cunts are sleeping on this shit.
Yeah. Oh, man, they should start, hanging that in the front of the restaurants now
You
instead
heard
of
it
the
here
actual.
first. Stop sleeping on that, you cunts.
All right, let's rank this thing. On the Simpsons Index, we rank using a 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. Maybe if the episode was just meh, you give it a participant. But for the positive rankings, you got okay bronze, good silver, excellent gold, but for the best of the very best, they get cubic zirconia. I'm going to go first. Let me show you how it's done. Look, there's just enough coherence going on that I'm not going to fail it. I am going to give it a participant. It's close. It wanted to fail it, but like, I'm just like, you get a technical victory. This is fucking two sweetest words in the English language. Default. BT, what do you reckon?
Look, not the whole room for 22 minutes, dead silence, but that also includes no
Yeah.
So there was nothing heinous about this one. And again, the elements are there. It's just so packed with other stuff and just needs refinement. It can't be better than a participant, but it stays out of the pit of failure.
Andrew finished up.
I think it's unanimous. I'm hitting that with a rock solid meh. That's one of the hardest mehs. Like, as in, I would say that's like a definition of a meh for me. It's just like I wasn't offended by it, but I was like, it's frustrating because it could have been good.
Yeah.
If anything, I felt more than just one that would have been wholly bad. I was like, you're playing with some ingredients here. You got something going.
This is definitely Bart with a cake that says you tried.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Tried.
It's just baffling. It's just, I found it so baffling. But no, it was good.
Some plant-based meat thing can't always be Beyond's or fucking
Yeah.
Jax's.
Beyond, Impossible, V2. I know all the brands.
Damn,
V2 is good too, actually.
We got to
But
die
it's a
for
bit
this.
expensive.
We need it.
Yeah. Hastings, thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, man, I'm so happy to be here. So happy to be on. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. You got anything to plug?
I got so much to plug. My butt. No. Imagine if I thought I was the first guy to make that joke.
I think you're the first one on this show. So.
Yeah. I got to plug. I run a bunch of comedy rooms. I also do. I'm a stand-up comedian. I ever mentioned that? I've been a stand-up comedian for a long time. Just follow me on Instagram, Andrew Hastings 11. Just come check out a show that I'm on or whatever. Main thing I actually want to plug is check out. I run a bunch of comedy rooms. If you've particularly if you live in Sydney and you've never been to local comedy, I run some of actually the better, the coolest comedy rooms in the city. They're quite affordable. I know money's pretty fucking tight for everyone right now. Every Wednesday, $15. Kelly's on King in Newtown. That's the place to be. Joke Off Comedy. Follow us on Instagram, Joke Off Comedy. There's another one at the Beer Bar in Alexandria. It's monthly on a Tuesday if you live more in that area, which I know a lot of people do. Monthly on a Tuesday, just follow Laughing Taps or the Beer Bar on Instagram. That's a fully pro show. We get crazy headliners every time around. Gonna be fucking sick. But every Wednesday at Kelly's on King, come down to that.
Yeah. Love going down to Joke Off at Kelly's on King. That's, real good night.
Yeah,
that one.
man. If you're a fan of like Australian comedy, or even like if you like even just like Australian comedy podcasts, most of those guys do stand up.
Yeah.
And like literally just have a look at Instagram, check out our lineups, pick one that looks good. Like you'll find someone you know in there. You'll have a great time.
Okay, no. And BT, what if people want to hear more of us?
Well, they can go to patreon.com/SideQuestStudios, where for the price of a Beyond Burger, they can get access to over 100 exclusive podcasts. Exclusive. This includes things like Except When He's Not, the show that where we catch me up on the episodes I watch, and you can hear just what I think. And also our latest show, Starring Springfield, where we review movies that star the cast of the Springfield like you've never seen them before.
Of the Springfield?
Shut up. How about you shut up, Elliot?
Yeah, have I told you we're doing this show, Hastings, where, people are suggesting movies for us to review, but they have to star a cast member of The Simpsons?
Isn't there like an insane Nancy Cartwright one? I'm sure I've heard about this.
We actually haven't had many Nancy
Sure,
suggestions.
I've heard something that she has some particularly insane movie, I'm pretty sure.
Cool. I look forward to it.
Yeah, I think it was a wonderful patron, Grant Prusy, suggested the Twilight Zone movie, which she's on. And that's weird because she's like playing a teenage girl in it, and it's just, that's Bart.
Yeah.
I know you look like a teenage girl, but you're Bart.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the Patreon perks. You get to suggest a movie for us to review. And
Godzilla. Have you done Godzilla?
Oh,
that was the
that's half the cast,
That's
right?
a gimme.
Like the whole fucking
First fucking one we did.
yeah, because that's Harry, Hank, and Nancy's got a cameo in that one as well.
That's awesome.
All she gets to do is like she does the whole point and Godzilla. She does that.
Eat my shorts. Like.
And then Godzilla eats her instead.
That's right. Check that out. Patreon.com/SideQuestStudios.
100 podcasts. Over 100.
And a new one every week.
Good Lord, that's such value.
Yeah,
so much podcasts.
Yeah, we don't always release every week on the Simpsons Index free feed, but you're guaranteed a bonus podcast every week.
We're busy, people.
Oh, yeah. I'll quickly plug. Yeah, I'm doing a new podcast with Dando from Four Finger Discount called G'day EW, where we're reviewing the week that has been in AEW every week. And
that's wrestling for all you non-nerds.
Oh, yeah, that's right. all elite wrestling.
Don't worry, I'm across it.
And I'm also playing a Call of Cthulhu game every Thursday on Twitch at twitch.tv/DreadedGM. All the links to all this stuff in the show notes. But
See, I told you we were busy.
Yes, we're very, very busy boys. But yeah, once again, thank you very much, Andrew, for being with us tonight.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. BT, thank you.
I don't have an outro line.
Okay, neither do I. Oh, wait, yes, I do. That's all the mustard in the house.
It's been 200-something episodes.
I know, but it's been a couple of weeks since we've released it. Anyway, bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Simpsons Index podcast, which is also an online spreadsheet available at thesimpsonsindex.com. You can also check out our other shows, like Pulp Fury Radio, our scripted fiction podcast, which tells all original stories across a range of pulp genres, and Thrones of Game, where we review Game of Thrones in reverse order. Links to those podcasts and more will be available in the show notes. Now, there's no bonus scenes for this episode, so we'll catch you next week.